1, 2. How about that? There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. So, I guess I know I can see nobody's watching here at this point, but some people will watch later on. So if you get to that point, just skip ahead, I guess, if you get to this point. But anyway, howdy, how's everybody doing? I was saying, like, that's a pretty cool sound. Keeping that E string droning. I hope everybody's doing okay. And I apologize for not having another video up soon. It's just a really busy time of year with all these gigs. And, you know, take whatever I can for a little extra. And I just enjoy playing as well. And today we're playing at a place called Newport Island Harbor, down in Newport on Goat Island. It's a little hotel gig, but it's outside at a place called at what they call the Pineapple Bar. And it's a pretty fun show. Nice view of the bay, the Rhode Island Newport Bridge and everything. Yeah, so that'll be fun. I'll be doing that from about 6 to 9. And, you know, I tried to get these live streams up, but I'm going to keep this one pretty short today because of that. And next week, though, I will have the full day, so I won't have to, you know, run off, and we can do it at the normal time at 4 o'clock. Which brings me to, I do have another update. Eventually I'll be able to integrate it into the website, but I'll show you here. I do have an update for the schedule, for the streaming schedule, for those of you who might be interested, if you want to catch it. I know I've been bouncing it around from like 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock or whatever, and it's tough to, again, right now, the summer is just a busy time of year from July, August, September, sometimes into October, where the gigs just go nuts, and we're booking up pretty well. So usually gigs take place, you know, 9, 10 o'clock at night, but these have been happening around like in the summer. They're earlier afternoon shows because that's when everybody wants to go out, you know, right? So here we are. Let's go to, I will show this here. Let me get to the website here. Trying to find it here. Okay. So if you go to the website, this is what comes up when you're the home page, I believe. Yeah, this is the upcoming shows. Yeah, there it is. Newport Island Harbor Island. I'm sorry. Or is it Island Harbor? Oops. Oh, it is Harbor Island. A Harbor Island. Okay, I keep calling it Island Harbor. Anyway, then next week we got a place called Nickonese. That's always a fun show. And another back at the harbor again. Then we're down at the pub in Matunic and whatever this. Oh, this is a big fundraiser we're doing. In over here at a place called Hills Tavern and Grill. That should be a fun show. I've never played there before. I'm looking forward to that. So anyway, if you go here on the side, you can see this is where I put the guitar tabs, right, for all the videos. So you can go and download those. Then the backing tracks, I haven't really added too much more to that. I haven't really had time to add some extra tracks, but I got a couple almost ready. And anyway, if you click the YouTube schedule down here, it just goes right to a calendar, and you can see kind of where I'm going to do it. There's a couple of days somewhere where I have to change it to a Saturday, to a Sunday. There's one. But anyway, I just want to keep it going for consistency, as well as for myself more than anything else, but, you know, to just interact with you guys and give you some sort of content on the channel just to keep it going while I'm busy during the summertime. And I've got a bunch of scripts and videos ready to go as far as to start recording them. I just haven't had the time to do it too much yet, but in the coming weeks, I'll have a bunch of them ready to go. I'm going to try to record them all at once, and then I'll have a consistent upload schedule definitely by the fall. At least that's the way it's looking right now. All right. So, anyway, I don't really have anything new to add musically today. It's a really nice day out here in New England. I hope wherever you guys are, it's also just as nice. But yeah, let's see. I do have another idea coming up where I have to change I'm really bad about changing strings. As I've mentioned before, if you ever want to know, like, when do you change your strings? Well, if you lift the way you do it, the way I do it is I lift under the D string because that's the one you're gonna notice the bumps more than any other. The A, I can't really feel it, but on the D, I can feel the little divots that the frets put on the strings. And when you feel that, if they're really pronounced, you kind of get used to, okay, they've been on here for a month or whatever, and I've played multiple gigs. Kind of take a look. And the telltale sign is on the D string is if you see a divot or you can feel anything on the top of the string, change them. That's a red alert because it's if that string doesn't break, another string will. And usually it's the high E will break, or it could be the D string. Usually those are the two strings that break on me. I don't think I've ever had, other than I tried a pair of cheap strings once and the A string broke. Um, yeah, don't get those cheapy, I forget the brand. It's like an off-brand thing. I don't even think they make them anymore. Ernie Ball, D'Addario, um, Martin, all the ones you can get at Guitar Center and music stores are fine. There's also the Elixir stuff. I just don't. I used to use those. I don't really care for them because of the film on it. Um, but if you're starting out, especially for acoustic, it's nice to. They are a little softer on the fingers, and they do last longer too. Especially if you have, if you're, um, some people have very corrosive sweat, and it gets on the strings and it causes the strings to rust. If you notice your strings are rusting or corroding fairly quickly, that's probably why. And the elixirs kind of combat that a little bit. You can also do the stuff like the fast fret stuff. I don't know if they still. I haven't bought that in years, but that used to work for me. Um, and it depends on where you live too. If you live in an area where a lot of humidity and it's not, you don't have a dry environment or something, that can get corroded that way. Um, the other thing you can do is I do use this. I do use I have it here, the Dr. Duck's Axe Wax. And it's very oily, so you only need a little bit, but that's good for the fingerboards. Every time I change my strings, I always at least use that a little bit with a shop towel or a microfiber cloth or whatever. And that will that keeps the just keeps the neck, um you know, not it just keeps the neck from drying out. So it keeps it hydrated, I guess. And that will help. It also, and it's a good cleaning too. A lot of times, like you probably can't see it, but right around the frets there, dust will accumulate, and you can clean that out. I use a shop towel so I can get in there with my nails and just kind of clean around the frets, and that helps clean all the gunk off. And that you can also put that on the strings, very very little, just a little bit, and that can kind of increase the longevity of the strings. And if you know that they're going to rust, take a microfiber cloth after you're done playing a gig and wipe it down on the top, and then put it underneath the strings, and then wipe it underneath all the way, all the way underneath and on the top, and that will help increase the long. And you can get, like, three or four shows out of it. It depends on how you play, the type of guitar, really, the thickness of the strings. Um, I recommend that when you change your strings, change the whole set. Don't just change one thing at a time, because then you're just going to end up constantly chasing your strings. You're just going to everything's the next one's going to break, and then you're going to change that. And every gig you're going to end up breaking a string and changing it. And that's no fun. So just that's my recommendation on that. That's a lot of fun. I always like playing these. Talk about something else. To playing, swinging eights versus straight rock. Depends on the rhythm, I guess. But I do like if it swings, I just feel like I have more freedom to. Um, some people like playing straight. I like playing the swing stuff, and that's why it kind of what it's not what initially got me into rockabilly, but it what I've come to love about it is that a lot of the stuff is um, swinging eights, and once you get that feel, it's quite addicting. At least I find, um, versus playing straight rock. But everybody starts out usually with the straight eight stuff, and that's fine. And then you can then you learn the feel of it because it is kind of a feel thing. I was chatting about this last night with the guys in the band, how it is kind of a feel to get used to that. And there are two ways you can write it, but it's difficult to really uh, read that. The best way to write it to really get it in your head on the feel of it is it's long short long short long short. So dotted 8 16th, dotted 8 16th. That's kind of it's a stiffer feel as opposed to quarter note triplet, eighth note triplet, but that's more of the swing feel. Um, and it's very subtle. I'd say that the dotted 8 16th is kind of where the swing is. Very subtle difference, but that's kind of the one is almost a little. The notes are a little closer together. They're not as far apart, or the dot. Well, the 16th and the dotted eighth are closer together. So when it comes to that figure, where the other notes are a little further apart, but it is more of a feel thing. So you hear it when you have to write something for an orchestra, like a classical piece or whatever. Typically, it's written with the dotted 8 16th to give that feel. Da 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 da. And it's almost a march, really. Um, so it but when you read a big band chart or any chart or anything like that, that swings, it's never written like that. It's just written like normal eighth notes, and it just says at the top, eighth notes equal dotted 8 16th feel or quarter note triplet, eighth note triplet feel. Usually it's that figure. And then but everybody knows, like, oh, this song swings. So you just put swing. Swing and eight. Or you can write that to swing the eighth notes. That's it. And once you know what that means and you get that feel, then you can just do it. And the best way to get that feel is to just play. Just listen listen to big band stuff is great for that. Listen to rockabilly, the swinging stuff anyway. From Carl Perkins, Elvis to Johnny Cash, all the Million Dollar Quartet guys. Jerry Lee's more straight. Most of the stuff is straight rock. I'm sure he has some swing tunes as well, but I'm not as familiar with Jerry Lee 'cause I'm a guitar player. So, but then there's of course that's a great playing a great way to get that up and down, and you want to go up and down with it too, like. That's a great riff to just practice doing that. Up and down, up and down. Whatever. And do it all over. And you can, and also just the. Anything like that, or depending on what key you're in, do the 2/5 turnaround. You can bounce back and forth between the the D string and the A string there. I've seen it written like that in a couple of tab books for some reason. You don't have to play it like that, but just the I've seen some people try to do all downstrokes, and if the tempo's slow enough and you want to get more of that kind of dotted 8/16, almost shuffle feel, then it might then be beneficial to play it like that. It all depends on the feel that you're trying to get. Um, with swing stuff, it's usually better to go down, up, down, up, down, up. With straight rock, it's usually better to go all downstrokes. So if you're playing, or if you're swinging, it's usually better than to try to. It's very awkward, and it doesn't really quite translate. And I've seen some people try to rely on the delay, so they'll play just like an electric bass would. And it's a natural thing, I guess, if you're not used to playing swing type feels, because you'll tend to just do that and rely on the delay, like a single slap back or a couple or whatever. But if you listen to the upright kind of takes care of itself when you're slapping, because when you have that swing feel, the click becomes the upbeat, and the notes are the downbeats, right? So when you're pulling the string on the upright, that's the downbeat, and then coming back, that's the upbeat. So you're automatically getting that tuck, 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 and you can straighten that out too, or play it. You can straighten it out or play it swing or whatever you want to do for upright. For guitar, yeah, it's always good to palm mute it or not. Right? Always a good thing to try to get used to, especially if you're playing any even if you're playing a couple of rockabilly tunes. It's not like your whole thing, but if you're playing a couple swing tunes or anything like that in general, it's always good to kind of just practice and get used to that feel. And it helps you just in picking in general overall. Getting that alternate picking as opposed to just not economy picking, but that's a different thing. Sorry. Just getting used to going back and forth, especially on a single string, and and it requires a little bit more effort to on the lower strings. As you notice when you play the guitar, it's easier to play back and forth on the top strings than it is to try to than on the thicker strings on the bottom. As far as pick size, experiment with whatever. This is just like a typical Fender medium, which is what I've become comfortable with. I think it's 60 something millimeter if you're looking for the dimensions. But some people like. I don't recommend going any thinner than that, because I think that's just, unless you're playing rhythm only, playing acoustic rhythm or something, or even electric, or just that's all you're doing, then that might be fine. If you're going to play, a lot of jazz players end up playing really the thicker picks. I tried that for a little while. It didn't really work for me. I think part of it is the guitar as well. It does tend to work a little better if you have a thicker gauge string. Like if I have the round the flat wounds on the jazz guitar back there. That one's I forget it's just the D'Addario Chrome flat wound strings, but I think they're 11s. There might be 10s. I'm not sure, but they just have a thicker feel in general anyway. I typically just use 10s, but you can use thick with the and those strings just are stiffer in general. You can't really. It's like the G string is wound like an acoustic, so you can't really bend it. You can bend the top two. The G is a little tougher, but like the acoustics typically are 12. That's like the standard gauge for an acoustic, and where electric guitar, I think the standard is 10. Some people go to 11. um, but I've tried 12s and 13s. The 13s is more of like the jazz, and you're not bending those strings. As if you're just playing individual notes, that's fine. And that's where a thicker pick might come in handy. Um, but for the most part, most rock and rollers are playing 10s, and I've seen some people play 9s. I can't do 9s or 8s. That's too thin. But they do bend easy, that's for sure. Skip that. So, anyway, I am going to, like I said, I'm just going to do this real short today because I just want to, you know, get it consistent every week, and just to give you guys a little something. And then I will have the video as soon as I get some time. Um, hopefully Monday I'll be able to get it all mixed and have it all done by hopefully up by Tuesday. And it's not a long video. I think it's like 7-8 minutes or something, and it's just going over some different rockabilly riffs and things that I kind of mentioned this last time. I put them all in a solo, and then break it all down on the how to play the different sections. And you can take those sections and put it in any key, play whatever you want, and then and use it if you want to. And it was just a fun little video to make and just come up with little rockabilly ideas, just trying to things that we've talked about on the chat in the past. Um, Trying to get to all of these ideas. I have the list of videos that people have recommended, that I am going to get to. Um, Somebody did ask for Double Talkin' Baby, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to do it, and I probably will. I will go ahead and do that, but that one's going to take a little bit of time because it's mostly all solo, and it's just I'm probably going to stick with the Setzer version. That's the one I think that they wanted. So the Stray Cats version. So I'll probably stick with that. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's always fun doing it. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, it's fun that I'm glad I'm able to do this and kind of figure out all the little technical difficulties getting the guitar to play through, and it'd be a great way to just kind of interact with everybody as opposed to just putting videos out there all the time. And it keeps me, not interested. I'm interested in the channel, but keeps the content going on the channel of some kind. When especially this time of year when I'm really busy. Um, and then it gives me ideas. I can talk to you guys and see what you might want to see for content, and start to make that. I got a list of videos that I have to get to. A couple of Roy Orbison requests, which I haven't done anything on that yet either. And there was another one. Oh, it was another Elvis tune. I forget which one it was now. It was either, I think it was Baby Let's Play House. I think that's what it was. Somebody wanted that, so I'll do that one. That's a fun one. I always used to like playing that one. Actually, on Upright, that was more of when I played that song. It's got a great opening. Is that the one that opens? It doesn't open with the Upright, I don't think, but it has that great descending line on the break. It's cool. So, anyway, I'd have to learn the riffs for that. I never really did learn the guitar part because, like I said, I play the bass, so that'll be fun to learn. I haven't done any Buddy Holly stuff either, which is something like what. Yep, those are my two favorites as well. You Got It would be an interesting one to do. Only the Lonely, again, it's mostly just chords, so there's no guitar solo or anything, but so there's not much of a lesson there. But and that's a tough one. People have requested, like, why don't you guys do any Roy Orbison? It's like, I can't sing like Roy Orbison. Trying to do something. I mean, You Got It may be the one I might be able to kind of approximate but Only the Lonely, no way. So there are some guys out there that can. I mean, but yeah, he's one of my definitely my one of my favorites. I mean, obviously there's stuff like some of the older rockabilly songs, like oh wow, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, definitely. Is this the name? It's a cover by CQ. That's the name of the channel. I'll if I can look it up that way, or send me a link. I'll check it out for sure. Kudos to you if you're singing Roy Orbison. That's great. Um, cool. Yeah, if you send me a link, if the link doesn't come through, I may not get it here. You can always just leave a comment in any of the videos, or you used to be able to like send a direct message to a YouTuber. They took that away. You can't do that anymore. Um, but I don't think you can. But if you ever want to, you can always just leave a comment um, by just going to any, well, because you have a channel. Let's see here. There you go. Cover by CQ. All right, and boom. I just subscribed to yours. But so I don't. I heard something about that where I guess you can't. Yeah, I think it's fine. I heard something about like you can't subscribe. Don't like I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. I don't see why you can't subscribe to other people's stuff on here. So yeah, I just subscribed to yours, so I'll check it out. Um, I see you got a lot of cool stuff on here. Yeah, I'll check it out. Um, Unfortunately, I get snagged for copyright claim stuff, so I can't really play cover songs. I even, funny enough, I I got I copyrighted myself. Um, I did I I put all of our music, or I did for the last album, put it all through CD Baby, and they take care of all of the um, digital distributions of stuff, and it's all it's so they put it on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, all of that stuff, right? They also take care of your digital rights and your copyright stuff for YouTube. So I didn't think about it. And they also create that if you look up the TeleDynes, you can see another channel where it's just the album. That CD Baby did that. I didn't do that. Um, and the songs are in their database. So when I started the stream the very first time, that little streaming soon thing that comes up before I turn it on is I had a video, just an instrumental, just the backing track of one of our songs, 47 Cadillac, I think it was. I thought that worked well enough for it. And it wasn't even the vocals, it was just the music. And it got copyright claimed. I'm like, what did I play in there that was copyright claimed? And I looked, and sometimes it'll tell you like what the song, what it was, and it was my song. And I'm like, oh. CD Baby copyright claimed my own tune. So if the video makes money, then you then I'll get paid for that through CD Baby in a roundabout way, and they'll get their cut and all that stuff. So going forward, when we release our new stuff, which I also have a couple of those new tunes, so I'm mixing 2 songs right now, 3 actually, um, and as soon as I'm done with those, I'll be releasing those probably back to back. I just instead of just releasing one and then taking forever to do another one, I'm just doing all 3 of them, and then I'll release probably every couple of days or week or whatever. I'll put a new one up, and um, as they get finished, as one gets finished, and then I'll do the next one. But yeah, the album's rounding the bend. I got the pretty much. I think we had to finish writing it, so we had to come up with some more original tunes, and I finally finished that. So it's just a matter of learning them, getting in the studio, recording, mixing, releasing, and then I'm probably going to do every song individually on YouTube, then do a final release as a CD, not a CD, but just on. Um, I'll probably do like Bandcamp or one of those things, and avoid CD Baby for a little bit so I don't run into that same issue with the YouTube thing. The Shadows music? Yeah, I do. Actually we're actually learning 2 Shadows tunes. Um I forget the names of them. Of course we play Apache. Um and I forget what the other tunes were. We're just listening to them yesterday. Well, these are cool. Oh, yeah. What am I? I know where I can find this. Hopefully I there we go. What's it called? Uh I'm assuming you're talking about the surf band. Apache, yeah. Um yeah, The Savage is the tune that we're gonna be doing, and The Rise and Fall of Fingal Bunt. um, Funny name. Unfortunately, I can't play that stuff. It's copyrights, but nice. 65 Gretsch and a 72 Fender Bassman. Cool. Um, Very cool. Yeah, I've got a history video that I still have to record, but the script is done on the history of the Fender Bassman. Um, so I'm both focusing on up until about 72 when it stopped. The changes kind of stopped, from what I could tell, through the history. That's when they started coming out with like the big double, 15 double stack, and the Fender Bassman 2, which is essentially just 2 cabs. Awesome. Yeah, I grew up kind of listening to the same stuff as 50s rock and roll and rockabilly and the big band stuff. Yeah, that's kind of where my parents were as far as what they listened to. And my parents were a little older, um, so they grew up with that stuff. So I would always as a kid, listen to Benny Goodman and Glenn Miller, and then of and then Bill Haley, and you know and the rockabilly stuff, and not really knowing what it was until later when I started learning guitar. And that's when I, of course, got into the Beatles, like most people do. That got the spark. that got me into playing the guitar. And then I went back, what are there? And then went through as, Zeppelin and all of that, like most people do. And then well, what are these guys' influences? So then I went back and like, oh, there's all the rockabilly stuff, all the 50s stuff. And then I started playing it. And out of a combination of just getting hooked on the soloing style and like, well, this is all guitar. I want guitar music. The problem with a lot of the modern music at the time in the 90s was just, there was guitar, but it was not really guitar forward. And today, forget it. Um, but so the rockabilly was great, and that and necessity because I wanted to play in a band, but it was difficult to get four people together, but we could get three, and rockabilly lends itself very well to three people, so it kind of just naturally progressed, and I got more and more and more into it, and that's how that kind of happened. The silver face, yeah, the silver face with the reverb, yeah. I go into that. Yeah, then Setzer brought it back. Yeah, when I saw Setzer for the first time, that kind of really that pushed me over the edge, and it was like I was wearing, you know, crop Beatle-esque type hair, or just letting my hair whatever, and then I saw Setzer and I saw the Gretsch guitar, and I thought I'm like, oh, that's it. Slicked my hair back the next day, and I was just into it, and for since then, uh, I have done some shorts on YouTube. I haven't done one in a while, but they're under the shorts tab. There's a few. Um, they're weird. They're 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 actually more complicated to do than the regular videos. Sometimes it takes longer to render them out of my editing. I mean, I guess I could just put my phone up and upload it, but um, you don't have to film it vertically. You can film it normally and just change the dimensions in an editing program and flip it, and then it becomes a short. And the I've been taking some of the videos that I've done where I just play the solo. I'll just take the solo section and just upload that as a short. And I've done a couple other things. I guess I could upload the Patreon thing automatically. When I upload a video there, it automatically creates like a short for you, and it's just the first 30 seconds of the clip. I suppose I could put those on YouTube as well. Didn't even think about that. But I'll put those on Instagram or Facebook or something too. Um, yeah. So I've had a couple on there, just a couple of little techniques, and it's just tough to you got a minute, right? And that's it. So you got to figure it out pretty quick what you're gonna talk about. Nice. Yeah, I wish I could see them. I unfortunately I had a bunch of gigs booked and I couldn't go. They were in New York, which is close for me, and I was gonna go, but I've never seen the Stray Cats specifically. I've seen the orchestra many times, and I've seen his own like the Rockabilly Riot thing, and that was fun. And Slim Jim was with him, so I got to see two of them, but I didn't get to see. But I haven't seen him with Lee and Slim Jim. Of course, I've seen the videos and stuff, but yeah, if he sometimes he comes up to Connecticut at the casinos up here, the Foxwoods, and usually he goes there. And if he's there, I'll usually go. So I'll I'll see that one. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't have to edit. I enjoy the editing process. I just like doing it and see what I can kind of have fun with. Um, and I just I have the editing program anyway, so I just kind of I've been messing around with that stuff for years anyway. Really? I was like, I think that'd be an easy stop in the touring circuit. I used to, it's people. Let's like you can see New England. Nobody really comes to Rhode Island. Sometimes they might go to Boston, I guess, but it's usually they'll go as far as Connecticut and then they go back down because I get it. You have to drive all the way up to the Northeast, and it it then you got to drive back. So and it's the same. It's like Florida, right? A lot for a while there. A lot of bands weren't going down to Florida because of the cost. Just to get all the way down to Orlando is another what 6 hours from the border of from Georgia, and then you have to drive back. And so it's easier to just go to before you even then you drive another 6 or 8 hours, whatever to wherever you're going, another gig. So it doesn't become cost effective. It's not cost effective to do that. But I get it. Um, but yeah, I watch other people's channels all the time. Usually, when I'm not making a video or doing something else, if I'm whatever doing stuff around the house, I'll put people's channels on. So I'll definitely check yours out. And you said, oh wow, so you video stumps. You got like what Indiana's historic pathways. That's cool, right? Oh, that's cool. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Yeah, there's so many channels out there. As I see people's stuff come up, I'll add it to my subscriptions. But what was I going to say? Somebody else. You asked another question. Oh, you asked the question about the Christmas tunes. Yeah, actually, we do. Um, we Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. And America's Discovery Trip. Nice. Very cool. I'll have to check that out. I always like watching any kind of historical stuff. Love hitting anything about history. So that's always fun. Um, yeah, the Christmas tunes. Yeah, we do a couple Christmas tunes actually. We do anything easy, relatively easy. I do a nice little chord melody thing of the Christmas song, "Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire," and then um, what do we do? Jingle Bell Rock, of course. Stuff that's easy. People like it. Around that time of year, it's great. And we do the Ventures version of Sleigh Ride, which is fun. It's a surf rock. Sounds like Walk Don't Run until the melody comes in. Oh, cool, cool. Blue Christmas, yeah. Um, used to do that. I haven't done that in a long time. We did. I last year I did. What was the name of it? I can't remember. I just remember it having a lot of chord changes. A lot of the Christmas stuff is. based around jazz, so it's kind of it can be a little tricky. Uh, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. That's what it was. A lot of changes in that. Cool. Oh well, once the Trail coordinator. Cool. Yeah. Sorry about that, but that's cool, man. I'll definitely check out the channel. I'm always looking to to look up more stuff like any historical things. I was watching a different channel. I can't remember what it was now. About these little huts or mis- mystery um, like dens or holes all around New England, and I guess nobody really knows what they were for. I'm sure somebody does. Somebody's got to know. But they're all over Rhode Island and Connecticut and Massachusetts, and I don't know what they were. Nobody ever really explained what they were for, whether it was storage or uh, fighting for during the Revolution or something. But I guess it dates back that far, at least. Um, oh, Little Saint Nick. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Ooh, nice. A Tennessee Rose. I used to have one of those. I had it was a 74. It was a funny model because no, I couldn't really find. That was the time of the Gretsch history where they were kind of in between. I forget the name of the company that bought them out. It wasn't a good era for Gretsch, and the guitars were not made great, and also the serial number, you can't. It's like, well, it's somewhere between 72 and 74. Nobody could really say, but it did have the real F holes in it, and had the it's very similar to the like George Harrison. Had a zero fret, the George Harrison Tennessee Rose. The new ones are great though. Um, but it's in your Guitar Center has a Gretsch. Our Guitar Centers up here have some, but not very many. And the there's this place in Connecticut. It's a little bit of a drive for me, so I don't go there. But they have a lot of Gretsch stuff in there. That's kind of what they're known for. In fact, when the Setzer Orchestra came here the last time they were up here for their Christmas tour, they had a little setup in the front of the um, whatever by the door, the entrance by of the theater, and they had the guitars hanging there, and anybody could go up and take a photo and play these hot rod Gretches, these expensive guitars. It was pretty cool. Ah, probably for salt for gunpowder. Interesting. That's probably yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Huh. Cool. Alrighty. Well, unfortunately, I have to cut this short because I have to load up my car and head out to the gig. But we will be back. I will be back next week, a little bit later, probably starting around 4 o'clock. Um, although I could start earlier. I could start around 3. Um, but I will definitely whatever if people end up wanting the stream at a different time that works better, and if we find different times, then I might end up switching it. But this time typically works. It just needs. But right now, I didn't expect to have these early shows all throughout the summer, and then that kind of conflicted with this a little bit. But that's fine. I can get on here for a little bit, say hello to everybody, and get on that next video for next, hopefully this week. And thank you guys again for hanging out, for liking the videos and subscribing and you know keeping the music alive. And I will see you guys next time, and have a good one, everybody.